Hey everybody, man, Chip here with another video from Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my strategy as I'm going through some PvP with my main team. So, let's see if I can get someone that's good. So this will be a team that's slightly stronger than mine. Don't necessarily want to fight that one right now, but let's see if I can get one that's good. See if I can figure out who's at maybe 113. 114. I might come back to that one if I see it again. Here's a good one, 112. So this team will be a really good example of a kingdom team. Well, plus Sully as their tank, and they also have Jasmine as a tank. So this could honestly go either way. I have a little bit of a higher power, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'll win. So the way that this team works for me is that I try to get debuffs on as fast as possible, because that's what that is exactly what powers Ian and his abilities. Hopefully we'll even get to Ian, although it looks like Manticore was able to get some speed from them attacking Barley, and that gets a taunt out, which is perfect. Let's see if I can spread blind. I don't know if that's possible. Oh, sick. So that's exactly what I want. So I spread some blind, make it so they can't see, so they have a lower chance of hitting my team, which is absolutely perfect. And let's see if I can take out... I don't need to take out Jasmine, so I'm just going to hit. So really, Shan Yu just does damage. Like, I could have taken out... I probably could have taken out Jasmine. But what I'm really just trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that Ian can use his abilities as quick as possible. This is just kind of a bonus of having them able to do the other characters to do damage right now, because I really need to get Ian's out, because Ian right here, the Arcane Lightning just does 2,000 damage to every single character if they even have just a couple of debuffs still from Shan Yu and from Aladdin. Placement matters a lot on this team. I have Aladdin and Manticore in the back, because if they attack flanking characters on Manticore, they're definitely going to be stuck only attacking her and Aladdin, which leaves Barley and Ian pretty available for attacks. This is actually perfect. So Jasmine's gonna go down on this next with the damage over time. Take out Shan Yu. They're going to have to attack Shan Yu, who has a ton of health right now. He's at 4 stars, but gear tier 5, so he's pretty chunky right now. Only going to get better. The only downside is that this team is going to be heavily restricted as far as gear tiers, because I just don't have... I don't have the ability to get any more on the Onward characters, because they were from an event. Which... if you guys were able to get Manticore, Ian, and Barley, they're a fantastic trio together. Easily the best set of synergy. I have Shan Yu here because he can add speed to Aladdin, which makes it so that he and Aladdin always go first, or one of the first characters to move. And that's essential for getting debuffs out, because they can flank. So I hit the front 3 with Shan Yu and Aladdin to get a good amount of debuffs, the harmful effects right off the bat, which easily makes it so that Ian can hit the middle character to get some in the back. Barley just passes over some magic over to Ian. Ian is able to use the Arcane Lightning right away, and it wins every single time. Well, not every single time, but a lot more than I lose. If you do see an Onward Trio Onward Trio team that's working correctly, as in, like, they're working together the best, you want to take out... They took out Barley first, which was not necessarily the best move in my mind. Having used this team pretty extensively as my main team since the game launched, because Onward was the very first thing that came out with the event. I have... Ian is by far the one you want to take out, because if he gets his Arcane Lightning out, it's gonzo. There's probably no chance of you recovering from it. Okay, here you go. So now we're going to go up against a brand new Toy Story team. This person obviously spent a lot of money to get Toy Story. They're only at tier 3 though, and they have a Scar at tier 5. Now, Scar I'm a little more scared of because Scar can actually summon hyenas. So, but the fact is that the other, even though they have high stars, they're at low tier, which means that they're actually going to be pretty easy to take out. Because for one, Woody doesn't get his leadership ability until tier 4, so it's very not as helpful. There you go. So I get 3 on each one of these. I spread. I can. I get 2 turns of offense or of defense down. I get some slow. I spread one of them. I increase the length of these on one. Spread it to the back line, and all of a sudden everyone has debuff. As soon as Barley can go, I'll have Barley get up with passing over some magic. And from here, it depends on how many people have turns until Ian goes again. It looks like there's going to be at least 2. So what I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to have a taunt running on Manticore. And now this basically just means I've won, because one, they've already given up. You can tell that someone has turned off the game, has left it. You can't, there's no way to forfeit, but if you do close out the game, if you were to reopen it, it would reopen you inside of this battle. So a lot of people that see that they're at a heavy disadvantage will just quit out of the game, wait like 5 minutes for this battle to be over. If you do that, it does only use the basic attacks as soon as the bar runs out, which is good to know if you aren't paying super close attention. Then there's a chance that this will happen where it'll just, if the bar runs out, then you'll like look over and a couple turns have gone past because they've just used their basic damage. The other really great way about using this strategy with the Onward trio is that because of how much damage the Arcane Lightning does from Ian, it almost always gives me the spells on the next turn. Which, if Manticore still has her taunt, means that I'm probably going to still have all my characters at mostly full health by the time I've used the spells. So again, this isn't necessarily a great example because they quit out, and I'm just gonna win this because they're just using their basic damage attacks. But hopefully the next one I'll be able to actually fight someone. This one actually wasn't that much of a disadvantage for them. They did only have tier 3, even though it looks like they spent a lot of money to get all the Toy Story characters minus Zurg, all the way up to 6 stars. So I guess that's since I'm talking while I'm battling here for you guys, it is worth noting that since there is no forfeit button, you could do this, but keep in mind that if you do quit out, it's kind of annoying for whoever has to fight it, because then I just have to wait until the bar runs out before they'll just use their basic attacks. But it's because there's a forfeit button. If you do also try to log in while you're in a battle after you've closed it and and you have to wait a while, because if you did reopen it, it would immediately put you back into the battle. So yeah, you could do that if you want to. If you do that, just wait a little bit, wait like 5-10 minutes before going back into the game. Hopefully at some point they have some sort of way to forfeit. Okay, so this is a team that's actually stronger than me, so we'll actually get to try this one out. So they have, it looks like they don't even have they're not activating any leader abilities, which is kind of interesting. So they're stronger than me by power, but we'll see strategy wise. So they have Lion King. It looks like they've invested pretty heavily in Lion King. Again, like I know people are gonna look at this and try to go after Shan Yu, but the fact is that for this team right here, I only need Shan Yu for the first move. It's really, this is just the way that I've designed this team. Is that I really only need Shan Yu to do his first attack, because he's just gonna get the offense down, which is all I really need, because I'm just trying to spread the harmful effects as much as possible. Because I've used Barley to pass this over. Now I can use the Arcane Lightning. I did like 3,000 damage to a good chunk of their team. And now it's just really a matter of closing this one out. I've taken out Jasmine, and now they're just left with Sully as a taunt. I'm just trying to get Simba so he couldn't do any damage. Now I'm just gonna go after Scar, so I can make it so that he can't do too much. Although I don't think I'll be able to take him out on this turn. But there you go. So I got the spells. I'll be able to weather this pretty well. They're not gonna be able to do enough damage from here to take out the team. And the healing that Rafiki does isn't gonna be enough to prevent me from doing a lot of damage here. Okay, so I always use Duke first. Duke gets vulnerable on, and then I throw up foul play. They did add a change where assists won't use vulnerable, won't give you the guaranteed crit and use it up. So this is, I think this one is basically in the bag. Just gotta take out Scar, who's really the only other damage character that I'm worried about. Simba's still under wraps for right now since he's still blinded and won't get a guaranteed hit. This will take out Sully. Oh, nope, didn't. But you can kind of see how the team works. So even in a team that had a very large advantage over mine, as far as power goes, it doesn't make a difference if they're not able to keep it working together, especially if you let Ian stick around for too long. Granted, I don't even think they had a shot at taking out Ian when they started going after Shan Yu. Keep in mind though, if you do go after Ian, it's gonna feed turn meter over to Manticore, and if a person knows what they're doing, then they'll be able to have a pretty good idea about how to use this team, and they'll be able to and hopefully they're using Manticore to taunt and to stun. So I don't stun unless I see that there's a way for me to use the fact that they've lost their turn, and I never stun characters that I can take out quickly. But there you go. So that's just a couple battles. That's kind of how I think through when I'm attacking and how I use my team. I freaking love this team. I have in my collection, I have a lot of characters now. I have almost half of the characters unlocked. And this is the team that I've loved the most. Now, I do have a couple others here that I'm going to be feeding in as I have time and the ability to invest in them. Jack Sparrow's really good. Mordu's absolutely fantastic, but I'm going to invest in Shan Yu first, so I'm just leaving Mordu right here. For villain campaigns, I have him invested a little bit. Mulan is also very good. She's really great at Kingdom. Downtown, obviously Sorcerer Mickey is fantastic. Solid A tier character. I have Big Bad Wolf unlocked. Kind of have him on the back burner right now since I'm working on Aladdin, and I want foul play from the next time Aladdin comes around. I want to be able to get it to the next tier level, whatever you want to call it. So I've also been investing in Jasmine, who's almost at 5 stars. Now, all in all, that's like that. My teams probably are going to change over time, but I just love the ability to use these three together to be able to really shut down opposing teams and prevent them from doing a lot. If you saw, I was able to get a lot of turns before they were able to really do too much against my team. And overall, that's kind of the trick, is controlling, especially in live PvP and even when you're playing against bots, being able to control the other team to prevent them from either having turns or controlling where they hit with taunts, and especially giving them harmful effects and be able to control that is extremely useful. I know this was kind of a long-winded video, and I hope I didn't bore anyone. I hope that was just kind of like a look into how I think and how I work with my team and how I use my team to its fullest, and how you could potentially be building other teams. Now, this is not like the best team in the game. There's a lot of different ways you can build teams, but that hopefully gives you an idea about how you can kind of look at abilities, figure out how they work together, and be able to build solid teams. And with that, guys, I will leave you, and I will see you in the next video. Always feel free to message me on Discord. Discord's linked below. comment, like, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Share with your friends. And I will see you guys in the next video.